Have you ever secretly wondered whether loving beautiful clothes, skincare, or a stylish home makes you a shallow person? Especially if you also care about spiritual growth. Have you ever felt guilty for wanting to earn more money, improve your lifestyle, or pursue success, because you worry that these desires somehow push you further away from awakening and wisdom? Welcome back to the channel, my friend. I am really glad you are here. Today, we are going to talk honestly about something many people feel but rarely admit out loud. You might be chanting, meditating, listening to Dharma teachings or other spiritual talks, telling yourself you should be detached, simple, and pure. And yet there is still a part of you that loves beauty, that wants to look good, to live well, to be financially secure, maybe even rich. Is that right? Does that make you a bad practitioner? Does wanting money and beauty automatically turn you into a slave of desire? Or is the real issue not what you pursue, but the heart with which you pursue it? Original teaching behind this topic gives us a very clear and compassionate answer. It says that wanting to look good, wanting to improve your life, wanting to have enough money, even wanting success, is not automatically a sin. These desires are part of being human. The real question is, what kind of mind stands behind your pursuit? Is your desire driven by greed, comparison, insecurity, and fear? Or is it guided by wisdom, responsibility, compassion, and a deep understanding of cause and effect? In this long story-based journey, we are going to explore this question from many angles. You will look at the young woman obsessed with your face, the man who worked himself into sickness chasing wealth, the practitioner who gave up everything and became secretly bitter, and the person who learned to let beauty and abundance become tools for awakening instead of chains of attachment. All along the way, we will circle back to the same core forces: awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, practice, and the mysterious way your inner intention quietly shapes your destiny. So let us sit down like two friends having a deep conversation. You do not have to agree with everything. Just let your heart stay open and see what resonates. Imagine a young woman named Lisa. From her teenage years, you love pretty things. You love makeup, clothes, photography, design. You followed fashion accounts, experimented with styles, and enjoyed the feeling of walking down the street in an outfit that made her feel confident. At the same time, she was not a shallow person. She cried when she saw news of disasters. She cared deeply about her friends. She often felt there was something more to life than just appearance and work. One day she stumbled across a spiritual talk about impermanence, suffering, and awakening. Words hit her heart like fresh rain. She began to read more, watch more, and eventually started going to a meditation group. For a while, she tried to be a good practitioner in the way she imagined. She forced herself to stop buying clothes, stopped wearing makeup, and even started judging herself whenever she looked in the mirror. She caught herself enjoying her own reflection. She would scold herself inside. "You are so attached. You are superficial." Real practitioners do not care about such things. On the outside, she looked simpler. On the inside, she grew more tense. She still cared about beauty, but now she added shame on top of that care. Her heart became a battlefield between two identities: the spiritual seeker and the girl who loved beauty. One day, after a long period of this inner conflict, she went to see an older practitioner, a woman in her 50s who had walked the path for many years, and whose presence felt grounded, warm, and very real. She looked neither slothfully indifferent nor overly polished. There was a quiet elegance in the way she moved and dressed. Lisa confessed, "I feel so torn. I love beautiful things, and I like looking pretty. But now that I'm practicing, I feel like this is wrong. Like I'm feeding my ego. I tried to stop caring, but then I become depressed and fake. What should I do? Do I have to give up beauty to be truly spiritual?" The older woman smiled gently and asked, "When you put on makeup in the past, what was in your heart?" Lisa thought about it. "Honestly, I often hoped people would notice me, like me, think I'm attractive," she said. "Sometimes I compared myself with other girls and felt jealous or superior. Sometimes I was scared that if I did not look good, no one would love me." The older woman nodded. There is nothing wrong with enjoying beauty, she said slowly. But if your whole self-worth hangs on your face, then you are a prisoner. The problem is not that you like pretty clothes or cosmetics. The problem is the fear and insecurity behind them. And she asked, that you are practicing. Have you simply changed your appearance, or have you softened your heart? Those words went straight through Lisa's defenses. You realized she had mainly changed her outer lifestyle, but inside she was still obsessed with how others saw her, just in another way. Before she wanted to be admired for our beauty, or you wanted to be admired for our simplicity and spirituality. The older practitioner continued, spirituality is not a custom, it is a transformation of the heart. If you are using simple clothes to build a new spiritual image, saying to yourself, I am not like those worldly people anymore, you are still stuck in comparison. You have just changed the stage. You do not have to hate beauty. Beauty is part of life. Ours are beautiful, sunsets are beautiful, music is beautiful. Well cared for body and face can also be a part of beauty. The question is, does beauty make your heart more grateful and generous, or more greedy and anxious? If beauty leads you to gratitude, to appreciation of the miracle of life, to respect for your body as a temporary but precious vehicle for awakening, then beauty becomes a path. If beauty becomes a constant competition, a way to feed ego and hurt others, then it becomes a trap. In that moment, something inside Lisa relaxed. She did not have to split herself into two people. She could love aesthetics and still walk the path of awakening, as long as she paid attention to the direction of her heart. He can say the same about money. Imagine a man named David. He grew up poor. As a child, he watched his parents fight over bills, saw his mother cry when they could not pay rent, felt ashamed when he had to decline invitations because he had no money for outings. He made a vow to himself, when I grow up, I will be rich, and no one will look down on me, and I will be safe. With that vow burning in his chest, he worked tirelessly. He studied hard, got into a good school, entered a competitive industry, and climbed quickly. His salary increased, his apartment got bigger, his car more expensive. On the outside, he seemed successful. But inside, the hungry child was still there. No matter how much he earned, he felt it was not enough. If he made this amount, he wanted more. If he bought this house, he wanted a larger one. He compared his net worth with others. If someone his age had more, he felt inferior. If he had more than others, he felt temporarily superior. But the satisfaction never lasted long. He started meditating on a friend's suggestion to reduce stress. At first, we treated meditation like a productivity hack. If it helped him focus and earn more money, good. But one day, during a retreat, the teacher spoke about the nature of craving. The teacher said, craving is like drinking salty water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. Wealth itself is not the problem. The problem is when you believe that the next amount, the next deal, the next purchase will finally fill the hole in your heart. Listening to those words, David suddenly saw himself clearly, as if looking into a mirror that showed his inner child clutching at money with a desperate face. In the days that followed, he began to question his relationship with wealth. He realized he was not really chasing money as such. He was chasing the feeling of safety and worth that he thought money could permanently provide. The spiritual teaching he heard did not say, money is evil, abandon it all. Instead, it asked him, what is your money for? Is it for endless personal luxury? Or can it become a tool of generosity and wisdom? Over time, he made changes. He did not quit this job and move into a cave. He continued working, but he shifted his priorities. He set clear limits on how much of his life he would sacrifice for work. He started donating a portion of his income regularly. He supported causes aligned with compassion and education. Active giving softened his relationship with money. It was no longer a god he worshipped in fear. It became an energy he could use to help others and support his own practice. His craving did not disappear overnight, but he began to feel more relaxed. When he earned more, he was grateful. When he earned less, he did not collapse. His sense of self-worth gradually moved from how much I've owned to how much love, clarity, and kindness I bring to the world. This is exactly the difference between attachment to wealth and wise use of wealth. The teachings on karma and cause and effect tell us that poverty is not holy and wealth is not sinful in themselves. Both can be used wisely or foolishly. A rich person can generate huge merit or huge harm, depending on intention. A poor person can generate huge wisdom or huge resentment, depending on intention. What karma looks at is the heart behind your actions. If you step on others, lie, cheat, and exploit to get money, you are planting seeds of suffering, no matter how much you later donate. If you earn money through honest effort and use it with awareness and generosity, you are planting seeds of well-being, even if the amount is modest. Similarly, if you use beauty to manipulate, seduce, or humiliate others, that creates one type of karma. If you use beauty to uplift, to inspire, to express gratitude for life, that creates a different kind. The path of awakening does not require you to be ugly and poor. It asks you to be free and kind. Free from being dominated by appearance. Free from being dominated by wealth. Free enough that you can enjoy them without clinging and share them without fear. And enough that whenever you use your body, your money, your talents, you do so with an intention to reduce suffering and increase wisdom. Now, let us look at the opposite extreme, because some people misread the teachings and swing to the other side. Imagine a practitioner named John who, after hearing many talks about impermanence and detachment, decided that loving beauty and pursuing wealth are completely wrong. He went home, sold many of his possessions, stopped caring about his appearance, refused promotions, and told everyone that he only wanted a simple life of practice. At first, he felt proud of his renunciation. He thought, I am not like those worldly people anymore, have seen the truth. But over time, something bitter began to grow in him. When he saw others enjoying nice clothes, traveling, or eating in good restaurants, his heart clenched. You would think, they are so attached. They do not understand the Dharma. Yet, secretly, he felt envy. His utter simplicity hid inner resentment. He had given things up from a place of joyful understanding, but from a place of fear and rigidity. He did not transform his desire. He only suppressed it. Suppressing desire does not disappear, becomes shadow. It hides in the corners of the mind and leaks out as judgment, anger, or secret indulgence. One day, a teacher asked him, when you look at a beautiful scene or a well-dressed person, what happens in your mind? He answered, I tell myself it is all impermanent and empty, that it has no real meaning. The teacher asked, do you feel peaceful when you think that? He paused. Actually, I feel tense and bitter, he admitted. The teacher said, then you are not truly seeing emptiness. You are using the concept of emptiness as a shield against your own unexamined desire. Real understanding of impermanence and emptiness does not make you rigid. It makes you relaxed. You can see beauty, appreciate it deeply, and let it go without clinging. You can enjoy a comfortable life and give it up when needed without despair. If your practice makes you more angry, more judgmental, or more bitter toward others' joy, then you are not freeing your heart. You are tightening it. The middle way does not ask you to love beauty and wealth blindly, or to sate them. It asks you to walk through the world fully awake, neither intoxicated by pleasure nor terrified of it. Let us bring this into very ordinary, everyday situations. You might be someone who loves skincare and makeup. You can ask yourself, when I care for my face, am I doing it from self-hatred or from self-respect? If you look in the mirror and think, I am ugly, I must fix myself or nobody will love me, then your actions are rooted in fear. You are trying to cover an inner wound with products. One amount of external polishing will heal that wound. But if you think, this body and face are temporary guests, it will age, wrinkle, and eventually disappear. Still, while they are here, I will care for them with gratitude, like taking care of a borrowed house, and your skincare becomes an act of mindfulness rather than moronic obsession. Similarly, if you buy clothes to show off, to compete, to make others feel small, you are feeding arrogance and insecurity. But if you choose clothes that express your personality, respect the occasion, and make you feel quietly confident so you can serve and connect better, then your fashion becomes a tool instead of a chain. You might be someone who dreams of being rich. Instead of crushing that desire, you can examine it. Ask, what do I really want from wealth? If the answer is, I want to feel superior, to dominate others, to prove my worth, then your desire is an expression of ego. Even if you become rich, that ego will never be satisfied. If the answer is, I want to have enough to care for my family, to support causes I believe in, to create useful things, and to practice without being constantly anxious about survival, then your desire is mixed with responsibility and compassion. From the viewpoint of karma, the same external goal can create different inner results depending on intention and method. Let us consider two people both trying to become financially successful. One lies, manipulates, overworks employees, cuts corners, and harms the environment. He builds luxury around himself while ignoring the suffering his actions create. Another works with integrity, treats employees fairly, creates products or services that genuinely help people, and shares a portion of his profits to support education or relief work. Both may end up with similar bank balances, but their karmic future will not be the same. Their inner state in this life is already different. The first lives in fear, always worried about exposure, loss, and competition. The second lives with more peace because his wealth is tied to generosity and positive impact. This is why we keep returning to the phrase, the key is not the pursuit itself, but the heart you use to pursue it. The same principle holds for spiritual practice itself. You can even pursue enlightenment with the wrong heart. Some people turn awakening into the ultimate trophy. They think, if I become enlightened, I will be special, beyond others, untouchable. They chase spiritual experiences the way others chase designer packs or luxury cars. This is spiritual materialism. True awakening is the opposite of becoming special. It is the realization that there is no separate, special me at the center of the universe to be glorified. It is the flowering of compassion, the recognition that all beings share the same basic nature and the same longing to be free from suffering. If your pursuit of beauty and wealth brings you closer to humility, gratitude, and generosity, then it is moving in the same direction as awakening. If it pulls you toward arrogance, jealousy, and cruelty, then it is moving you away. You may ask, how do I know whether my pursuit of beauty or money is healthy or not in daily life? One simple test is to observe your mind when things do not go your way. If you cannot buy that you want right now, do you fall into despair or self-hatred? If you gain weight, develop wrinkles, or lose some advantage, do you feel like your entire life has lost meaning? If someone else looks better than you or has more than you, do you immediately feel jealous and angry? Strong reactions of this kind point to strong attachment. They are signals that your identity is fused with appearance or wealth. Another test is to observe your behavior when you do get what you want. After buying the expensive item, you feel a quick high followed by emptiness and the urge to get more. You are in the cycle of craving. If after a promotion or financial success, your heart becomes more generous, you care more about others, and you feel a deeper sense of responsibility, your wealth is becoming a vehicle for growth. You can also ask, does my pursuit of beauty and money make me more present or more distracted, more free or more enslaved, more compassionate or more self-absorbed? These questions are not meant to judge you. They are meant to awaken you. Let us talk about destiny now, because many people wonder whether loving beauty or seeking wealth will ruin their spiritual destiny. Destiny, From the viewpoint of karma, is not a fixed script. It is a flowing pattern shaped by countless causes and conditions, including your thoughts, intentions, and actions in every moment. If you repeatedly choose ego, greed, and harm in your pursuit of beauty and wealth, you are weaving a certain kind of future, one where suffering returns in predictable forms. If you repeatedly choose awareness, kindness, and responsibility in that same pursuit, you are weaving a different future. The universe is not punishing you for having nice clothes or a good job. It responds to the quality of your mind and actions. There are stories of very wealthy practitioners in history who used their riches to build temples, support teachers, feed the poor, and create sanctuaries for practice. Their wealth became like a river watering many fields. There are also stories of ancients who lived with hardly any possessions but carried strong pride, jealousy, and hatred in their hearts. Utter poverty did not guarantee inner purity. So do not be fooled by appearances. Someone living very simply can be extremely attached to that simplicity as an identity. Someone living in comfort can be deeply detached inside. The only true judge is the state of the heart. You might say, all this sounds good in theory, but how do I actually walk this balance in daily life? One practical way is to bring consciousness into your choices step by step. When you buy something, pause and ask yourself, why am I buying this? Am I trying to impress others, to fill an emptiness, or to meet a genuine need or joyful preference? If your motivation is mixed, that is normal. Human hearts are rarely pure from the beginning. Do not wait to act until you are perfectly pure. Instead, start where you are and tilt your intention a little more toward wisdom and compassion each time. Another practice is to intentionally give. Beauty and money are always flowing toward you and never flowing out from you. They will stagnate and bind you. If you let them flow through you, they become lighter. Give compliments freely when you see beauty in others. This softens comparison. Share some of what you're in. This breaks the fear that giving will make you poor. Support those who are struggling. This reminds you that your wealth is not just yours. It is connected to a web of relationships and causes. You can also practice seeing the impermanence of all forms. When you put on makeup or clothes, remember, this will fade by night. This face will age. This fashion will change. Enjoy today, but do not cling as if it must stay. When you handle money, remember, this number can rise or fall. This job may last or end. We'll use this while it is here, but I will not let it define me. These reflections do not kill joy. They deepen it. When you know something is temporary, you often treasure it more gently and share it more freely. At the deepest level, beauty and wealth are reflections of the boundless creativity of life. When you see them as gifts rather than trophies, your relationship with them changes. You are not trying to steal permanence from them. You are learning to dance with them. You may still go through phases. In some periods, you might renounce more, choosing simplicity to strengthen your practice. In other periods, you might engage more with the world, managing projects, money, and appearance. What matters is that in both phases, you are watching your heart, correcting its direction whenever it bends too far toward ego or fear. To summarize in living language rather than bullet points, loving beauty is not the enemy. Raving and comparison are. Wanting money is not the enemy. Greed and harm are. The path does not ask you to become a gray, joyless shadow. It asks you to become someone whose joy does not depend on possession, and whose beauty does not depend on praise. Imagine a person who takes care of their body and appearance with gratitude, earns money with integrity, shares it generously, practices meditation and kindness, and uses all their resources to benefit others. Is that person less spiritual because they are not poor and ragged? Of course not. Their life shines precisely because they have unified what the world calls material and what the world calls spiritual into one path of awakening. Now imagine another person who pretends to disdain all worldly things but secretly envies and judges those who have them. whose heart is tight, resentful, and proud. Is that person more spiritual because they own lies? Not necessarily. Their outer light may hide an inner prison. Where do you want to stand between these two images? As we come to the end of this journey, I want to speak to you very directly. You love beauty. Do not hate yourself for it. Let beauty open your eyes to the miracle of form. Then let wisdom remind you that form is temporary. If you want money, do not hate yourself for it. Let money remind you of the power of cause and effect. Then let compassion guide you in how you earn and use it. Your heart is the true battlefield. A world of appearance and wealth is simply the training ground. Every desire is an opportunity either to fall deeper into ignorance or to rise into awareness. Can you stand in front of a mirror putting on makeup, or stand in a store choosing something to buy, or sit in front of a computer negotiating a salary? Remember to ask yourself, what kind of person am I becoming through this? Not just, what am I getting, but, who am I being? If this reflection touched something in you, if you have ever felt guilty for loving beauty, or shamed for wanting more money, or confused about how to walk this path without splitting yourself, I warmly invite you to share your story in the comments. Maybe you have gone through phases of extreme attachment and extreme rejection. Maybe you discovered your own middle way. Maybe you are in the middle of the struggle right now. Your voice might be exactly what another person needs to feel less alone. If you would like to continue exploring topics like this, awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, desire, and the art of living a spiritual life in a material world, remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you will not miss future long-form talks. If you feel called to support this work more directly, you can also consider joining as a member. Your support helps us keep creating sincere, thoughtful content for you, and for many others quietly walking this path of inner transformation. Thank you for staying all the way to the end, for your honesty in looking at your own desires without denial and without self-hatred. Until next time, may you learn to enjoy beauty without being trapped by it, to use money without being owned by it, and may every desire in your heart become a doorway to deeper awareness, compassion, and freedom.
Every person carries a certain energy. Your focus, your dreams, your purpose. Bracelet is a physical reminder of that energy. Symbol you wear daily. That pushes you to stay grounded, balanced, and aligned. If one of the bracelets caught your eye, you can order it through the link in the description. And check more powerful styles on our homepage store. Choose the one that strengthens your journey.